Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, what's going on, man? How are you?
How you doing, boy? It's a beautiful day out here in North Carolina. I want to go play golf so bad I can taste it.
It's gorgeous in Texas, too. It's this time of year, right?
Yes, it is. It's beautiful. Backyard is beautiful. The pool is great. The putting green looks great. Everything looks great back here.
Excellent.
But today I want to bring up something I first started when I first started with you, Neil, on these podcasts. And this is something that concerns 300 million Americans, and that's debt. And 83% of all Americans are in debt at some point. And what they're doing is they're paying compound interest to the financial institutions and not themselves. And it's when people find out about what they're doing, what the banks are doing, it's criminal. But what I want to show you is what basically the average American is doing to themselves, paying compound interest to the financial institutions. So I got a short PowerPoint. Now let me get it to the beginning.
All right.
Now I call this my debt free for life. And my debt free for life is, I learned about this through the Smart Advisor program. There's about 60 of us in the United States that do this. It's probably 60 of us that know what effective interest cost was, because you've never heard of effective interest costs, have you, until you talk to them?
No.
Well, don't feel lonely, because I would say 99% of all people, to include CPAs, financial advisors, and attorneys, have no idea either. That's the ones I've talked to anyway. But what I want to do is I want to show people how to get out of debt. It's a modified version of Dave Ramsey's snowball effect, and I'll explain that here in a minute. But I want people to just think about this. Imagine how different your future would be if you could be completely debt-free for the rest of your life. Think of the things you could possibly accomplish. I mean, take a trip, fund your grandkids' colleges, buy a new house. You go back in debt, I'll show you different ways to do that and get you out of debt sooner. But just think about what it'd be like to be completely debt-free. The people that are in debt are on the wrong side of compound interest. And like Einstein said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it will benefit from it, and those who don't are going to pay it. Well, guess what? 99% of the people in the United States are paying it. So they're on the wrong side of compound interest. Now, I want you to look at these statistics. Now, I think these are even outdated from a couple of months ago. Personal debt in America is over $17 trillion now.
Oh, my gosh.
People have taken out over $67 billion in credit card debt since the first of the year. That's amazing. 82% of Americans have some form of debt that is hurting their future. Actually, it's 84. The amount of personal debt has increased 13% over the past year due to rising inflation. Well, guess what? Gasoline prices are started back up, and it's going to get much, much worse before it gets better, because they've got to fill petroleum reserve up at 3 times the cost of what they filled it up before, because Biden got rid of all of it. And Saudi Arabia, everybody else, are cutting production. So they're looking at gas prices going over $100 a barrel. And with everything else that's going on, our massive inflation, the war, we're closer to war now than we've been in a long, long time. The stock market crash. And I've had pundits tell me that this is just the beginning. It's going to be very, very bad in the future. And we did a podcast here not too long ago. I call it the stock market desert, where it takes years to recover. Like Japan, it's taken them over 33 years to recover, and they still haven't recovered. China's been in it for 15 years. And we had the lost decade of the 2000s. If you put $100,000 into a stock portfolio in 2000, and about 2010, it was worth $96,000, and that's not even that's not net of fees. That doesn't include fees. So I mean, it's terrible what's happening right now in America. But here's something that really scares people, especially women, because 63% of all debt belongs to women, and one of the reasons is women live longer than men, and monthly savings has fallen by 83% in 2022. Now, how can people fund their retirement if their savings or they don't even do any savings anymore? And many of the people I talk to, they just live paycheck to paycheck. And half of them can't decide whether to put gas in their car or food on the table. By itself, how much money of your net income do you actually get to keep? Well, look at this. You get a gross income check of $7,500. Now you have federal taxes, state taxes, health insurance, and possibly a 401k. So you get to keep $4,000. That's your net income. And that's what pays for your lifestyle, your rent, your mortgage, your living expenses, etc. But here's something, this is put out by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this graph right here. And I go over here and I look at this 40%. And I said, 40% of all the income you make before and after retirement is going to go to taxes. And I have people tell me all the time, Alan, I'm not in the 40% tax bracket. Well, I understand that, but understand this, we have taxes on everything. You have a tax on a pack of chewing gum, tax on gasoline, tax on property. We pay over 52 different types of taxes. People are not aware of this. And this is a study, I mean, a report by the Congressional Budget Office that by the year 2030, if we don't raise taxes overall by 66%, we're not even going to be paid the interest off on the debt, which is $31 trillion right now and climbing. And that means the country will go bankrupt. So that they can't let that happen. So what they're doing, they're printing more money, causing inflation, and making our dollar worth less. But then you have 25%, like I said, goes to your lifestyle. But here's the thing, we have 25% goes to pay off debt. And I want you to understand, something that goes to taxes, that money is gone. It's lost forever. It's never going to compound for you. It works for the government, but not for you. And it's just like this 25% debt, you're paying compound interest to the financial institutions and not for yourself. It'll never compound for you again. It's like taxes. That money is gone, but it's going to compound for those financial institutions. So basically, that saves about 10%. People, if they can contribute to a 401k or anything, and that's what the vast majority of financial planners, they want to look at that 10% and see, well, I can make a higher return on that. I can diversify your portfolio. We time the market or whatever. Well, that's not what I do. What I want to do is I want to save money and take money out of the debt, take money out of the taxes, and now I have a much larger pie to work with to secure your financial future. But we all like nice things. You know, we may not have the greatest car we want or the items we want or the mortgage. So what do? Take out a car loan, put stuff on a credit card, or we take out a mortgage. But here's Max and Megan's story. They had too much debt. Their money is compounded for the banks and not for themselves. They like nice things, but they don't have the money to pay cash for those. So that what they do is go deeper in debt, just like most Americans. Very few Americans pay. We're an instant gratification society, and we want the nice things and we want them now. So what we do, we go in debt to get them. This is their debt report. Now I want you to look at this. They got about $208,000. That's a $154,000 mortgage. They got a 4.2% interest rate on their mortgage. And as I told them, I mean, this $208,000, that's not your problem. This is your problem right here, the effective interest cost. The effective interest cost on that mortgage, that 4.2% interest, APR on the mortgage is 55%. And although they've got pretty good credit, their average effective interest cost is 35.76%. So yeah, I asked people, I said, what financial vehicle are you getting that's giving you a 35 to 36% rate of return? Well, absolutely nothing. I said, well, let's get rid of your debt. Stop paying for your 401k and get rid of your debt first, and then start putting money in the 401k, and you can possibly put a lot more, or get a tax-free retirement plan that I can develop for you. So let's look at the cost of effective interest cost of a mortgage. A 30-year mortgage at $100,000 at 4%. What's the effective interest cost? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll promise you, it's not 4%. That payment, that is 41.81%. There's calculations over here. The break-even point, see, people don't understand this. The break-even point, the month of your 4% effective interest cost happens in the year 349 out of 360 month mortgage. And that's what people don't understand. And when I show them the numbers, they said, oh my God, I had no idea that was going on. Well, that's how banks make money. You don't think the banks are going to tell you. Your effective interest cost is 41.81%. That means that 42% of every dollar is paid as a minimum payment is going to principal and not interest, and it's compounded for the financial institutions and not yourself. And like I said before, that money is gone forever. So given the choice, would you rather stay in debt for another 15 to 20 years or be debt-free forever? I ask this to people all the time.
Debt-free forever.
What's that?
Debt-free forever.
You betcha. What would your financial future look like if you get out of debt and stay out of debt forever? It's like that first question I ask everybody. What would your future look like if you could be debt free? Think of the things you could possibly do. Let's go back to Max and Megan's debt report. They're paying 35.76 effective interest rate. They had no idea, and nobody else does either, unless they're educated on the effective interest cost. But watch what happened when they took the smart way out. They committed to a debt-free for life action plan. They began compounding money for their benefit, totally eliminated $208,000 in debt. Their problem went away in 4 years with my plan. But guess what? We're not done with that, because they did pay their debt off in 4 years, but they also had over $118,000 in a tax-free bucket that they can use any way they want to. Plus a death benefit that's probably $500,000 that they can use for tax-free for long-term care, or a tax-free money for the beneficiaries if they pass away. So is this something people are looking for? I hope so, because it helps so many people. 19 years more of debt, or being 100% debt-free in 4 years. Now, this was just a short PowerPoint presentation, but I hope that I brought home the point of how effective, when you realize the effective interest cost that you're paying, there's things that can be done to do that. Now, Dave Ramsey's snowball effect, it works fine. And this is just a form of it, but what we do, instead of paying the financial institutions compound interest, we set up what they call SDIC, a specially designed insurance contract, and pay that extra money to our life insurance policy to pay off these debts. It's a software program that we have at Smart Advisor, and we show people how to do this. I mean, we do it for years, and we're on movement to do this, Neil. This is a national cause for us. We're very passionate about what we do. I'm passionate about what I do all the time with my clients because of the things that affect my family. But this is very, very important. I wanted to bring it up again. I shortened it up a little bit, but I hope people take heed to this. And if they've got debt, call me or call a Smart Advisor. But as you know, as always, you can always get a hold of me. My number is 910-551-1046, or my email is strategicwealth, the number 0 @gmail.com. I know I've brought this up before, but it needs to be brought up all the time.
It's so powerful to finish up, because you could be debt free. That's going to change everything. And the difference in Dave Ramsey's method is you're broke after you're paid everything off, and you don't have anything to keep. You paid cash for a cheap car. You look at things in a way of paying things off, but yet still having a lifestyle to spend money too, because you have money to spend on things. Because what's awesome about your plan is you become your own banker. That's the difference. You put money in the stock market, that money just stays and you can't pull it out. With doing your plan, you can pull out the money when you need it.
I mean, you can pull out the stock market, but you may pull it out as a loss, or you may pull it out too soon and lose a big gain, or save yourself from a catastrophic loss that I think is coming up.
Exactly. You're protecting, yet also earning at the same time, and having someone, an expert like you, to help them through the process. So again, everyone needs to call 910-551-1046, or email them at strategicwealth, the number 0 @gmail.com. Appreciate it, Alan.
You bet. Thank you very much.
All right. That was the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, guys. Take care.